YouTube. So today I'd like to show you the first of 3 identities which are super important in your algebra training and as part of mathematics in general when you come to grade 7, grade 8, grade 9. So usually by year 8, year 9 or grade 7, grade 8 you need to approach your FOIL expansions where you have a bracket times another bracket, and you need to know how to multiply them together and how to be sure that you get the right answer. So let me show you how this is done. Okay, so first of all, the identity is a plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. We call it the first identity. Now, hopefully you don't have to just memorize this, but by the end of this video you'll understand what it all means and why we use it. If you were to expand it with a traditional method, you would just do a plus b times itself because it's squared. And when you do a plus b times itself, well, you need to use the FOIL method. What is the FOIL method? First times first, and then the O stands for outer, so a times b, and then the I stands for inner, so b times a, and then L stands for last, so b times b. So you have 4 different terms. You have a times a, which is a squared, a times b, which is ab, b times a, which is ab, because we write things in alphabetical order in mathematics, and b times b, which is b squared. Okay, so bearing all that in mind, you get a squared, and then these 2 bits in the middle come together to give you 2ab, and then the bit at the end is b squared. So using the FOIL method, you should be able to expand this and rearrange it to get this identity. Now, how does it work in practice? In practice, it works like this. If you wanted to expand a bracket like x plus 2 squared, you do the first thing squared plus 2 times the first thing times the second thing, which is actually in this case 4x, and then plus 2 squared, which is going to give you 4. So the expansion of x plus 2 squared is x squared plus 4x plus 4. And you need to practice and make sure that you're good with this so that you know how to do it, so that you're not confused. Now, I've given you a little visual representation of what it looks like, because sometimes it can be so confusing when it's just numbers and there's nothing else going on. So, without numbers, with rectangles. Okay, so with rectangles, imagine that you have a square which is a by a. Well, the area of that square would be a squared. Imagine that you had another rectangle which was b by b, or actually a square which was b by b, sorry. So b by b would be b squared. But then you have these 2 little bits here. When you do a plus b and you multiply it by itself, you have this ab bit here and this other ab bit here. This is why when you expand it, it's not just a squared plus b squared. There's another ab and another ab. There's 2 ab's. Don't forget your 2 ab's. When you do your expansion, don't forget your 2 ab's. So the answer to this little expansion is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, which is the same as this. Now, how is this useful to me? Maybe, I think that this is like so out there and it's just numbers and it doesn't help at all. But think about something so powerful, which is mixing algebra with numbers. Why would you mix algebra with numbers? Well, think about this. What about if you wanted to square 102? Do you know how to do 102 times 102 in your brain right now? Probably not, but look at this. 100 times 100 is 10,000. But then 2 times 100 times 2, well, that's just 400. And then 2 squared is just 4. So you can say that this is 10,000 plus 400 plus 4, which is 10,404. You don't need to have a calculator to do that. You could do these steps in just a few seconds once you get used to the technique. So think about this. The first identity, a squared plus 2 times a times b plus b squared. Make sure you practice it a little bit, do 10 to 20 questions with it. This way, every time you see it, you won't need to use the FOIL method anymore, and you'll just be able to do this. So, thank you so much for following. I hope this was useful to you, and if you like our content, make sure to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/HLMathemagic, and also on Instagram, @MathemagicMD. And remember, math comes easy when you have the right techniques, okay? Thank you.